guys, Ron Purvis, Kentucky Fried Gamers here. In this video, we're going to talk about project planning. I'm just going to kind of go over some quick tips and tricks that I use to try to plan my project. You don't necessarily have to plan your project out, but if you're planning a large-scale project or something that you want to fit with a certain theme, you probably should plan it out a little bit. You should always plan out a little bit to make sure you have enough materials and stuff, which I'll go over when we get down to the table. I've got a set of buildings that I'll post the pictures of at the end of this, so you can get an idea of where this building that I'm going to be going through and building is going to fit in. I got the original building that I did from a No Quarter magazine from Privateer Press. It's like a coal loading chute type thing, and some of you may have seen that if you play War Machine and read No Quarter. But I didn't want to stop there. I decided I wanted to add some other buildings, so I built a big long building that would be like where they'd unload personnel or maybe lightweight equipment or stuff. I built that with a platform around it. I also built a water tower to go with it, and I'll post pictures of that. And I want to keep in the same theme and do it the same, build them this one the same way that I built those. So I'm going to use the same materials, the same techniques, same methods that I used to build those, and I'm going to show you guys how I built those. So I'll post the pictures of those three buildings up at the end of this, so that you can see kind of where I'm going with this and see if it interests you. The buildings should fit in with any, I kind of did them like a border town type thing, so they should fit in with any, like Wild West Exodus, War Machine and Hordes, Malifaux, any of those like that you might have a border game. I mean, you can also use them in post-apocalyptic games. You could use them in a sci-fi game, saying that they had hit a planet that was not as advanced as they were. You can also use it in Western, just straight up Western games. It could be used in a fantasy. It's not as themed for fantasy, but you could use it for that if you needed to. But anyway, let's get to the table and I'll show you how I plan my stuff out. Alright, we're talking about design, so basically kind of get you a rough sketch, a layout. So I'm going to kind of sketch out what I was talking about, where I wanted to do like a loading area. So I don't want it to be too long, but I don't want it to be too small either. So I'm looking at something about maybe this. Now I haven't decided. I'm thinking that I want it to be open on the bottom. So trying to get a rough, and then it'll be, I'll run the planks across here like this. I may do it like, if you'll notice on the other loading platform where I had wooden like boards up against the edge, but if I'm going to come down, so I may do this and then leave it open, and then like just kind of space some out here like this, ever so often. One here, maybe get about 6 of them across here. Like this, and then I'll have 6 on each side, and depending on how deep I make it, if I need one in the middle, I'll put one here as well, and maybe a couple up underneath just to support. And maybe if I'm going to leave it open, what I might do is just run like a support timber across like this, and then say like where this one is here, come down the other direction, just to give them lateral support. But what I was talking about was maybe possibility of like putting a crane of some kind here in the middle. I've got a picture The internet is a great resource. I've got some stuff here, like I found some old, like for trains and stuff like that, some images like that look flat plans. But like I thought about like the possibility of a general store. So I printed out several of these. You know, a lot of times these are like MD. I think this was an MDF kit by some manufacturer, and I just went through and printed those out. There's the crane that I'm gonna make. I found this really cool old looking style crane, and it was kind of squarish and it looked fairly easy, and I've got some gears and stuff that I can make, but this way, because it looks like they're unloading and loading off of river boats with this, so that would be perfect for trains. So I'm thinking about using it. This is the back part of it, and this is actual crane, looks like, that they lift with on this side. But I may reverse it and put like some ballasts or something out here just to kind of hold it. But I really like this idea, so this is what I'm going to go with the crane, and that'll probably be one of the later things that I do. I may build the base to put on the platform, but then see, and then there was like some ideas I had for like a saloon. This is kind of what I was thinking too. Maybe actually even putting stone up under the platform. But I haven't made all that decision, and I won't make that decision until I, get into building it. But like for scale and for size, you have to figure out, how big your table is, how much room you want it to take on your table. Like this, I'm thinking to make this about, I can get my ruler. I don't know where my small one is, but anyway. So I'm thinking if I make this, get a little sheet of paper. Okay, so if I come in here, and I don't want it to be really any bigger than this. So let's say I come in here, we're going to make it 4 inches. I'm just sketching general here, so let's go 4 inches by 10. Let's make it 4 by 10. That's pretty decent size, yet still, and I'm not worried about it being square for this. Just kind of get an idea here. Just kind of get an idea of the top of your platform. But like I said, I mean, I'm just general planning. It's like it's really easy. You plan it out. Then what I can do is I'm going to use popsicle sticks. So what I'm probably going to do is I'll lay the pattern out here, or partial part of the pattern, and you want to every other one, or something along these lines. You don't have to cut them all the time. You want them, and you don't want them all. You want to vary them because they're not going to be the same across there. But you can do this, get your pattern, and what I'll do is I'll probably lay a popsicle stick down there and draw some lines across. Then I know exactly how much material I need to make sure, because I don't want to get started then all of a sudden run out of material. And we'll get into more of that when I'm doing the planning. But the same goes for any building that you want to try to design. My background is in architectural design and CAD, so that's part of, I guess, where I get my need and want to make sure I lay everything out and get a rough sketch of how I want it to be. So here we're doing the same thing here with this. So it kind of gives me an idea of how I want that to look. And I will probably come off of the end here with a set of stairs. And I'll do the stairs similar to the way that I did the other ones, like with there'll just be a set of risers on the bottom part here. And then that way there'll be a set of stairs running down. Now you don't have to base your thing, but I tend to want to base my stuff, so I'll probably just kind of come in here with some kind of base, and then I can put sand and match the other sand and grass or tufts or whatever, and match the other pieces of terrain that I've done. But what I want to make sure here, and I'll probably center that more between two of those, and probably run something through to help support it, to make sure it's supported well. And what I may actually do here is I may actually come in there and put some stone, like make it look like there's a stone built up around that to kind of help support that, give it more stability when they're lifting heavy cargo with it. But this just gives another interesting piece of terrain to put on the board. It's, and I'm thinking about making it maybe about half a mini high, maybe a full mini, maybe about 1 inch tall, which would give you, some good cover, but it would also give you some elevation for play. But it gives you plenty of open area for play. You can always put some wagons or other, structures. I do want to do some kind of a steam locomotive or a maglev, train or something to do for the board, and I still have to figure that out too. But this should give you an idea of what you want to build. So you start with that, and then, like I said, you want to get your basic size. Because that you can measure that and measure your material. Make sure you've got plenty of material. You can do this out of foam core. I'm going to use craft sticks like I did on the other buildings. That I will put the pictures up at the end of this of the other 3 pieces of terrain, so that you can see exactly where I'm heading with this the next project, which will be the next video I'm going to start on this project right here. So please post any questions in the comments. This is just kind of just a rough, quick overview of planning. If you guys would like me to go into further detail about planning and actually maybe show you, sometimes I get on CAD or other types of design programs and actually block out, SketchUp, CAD, other things like that to block out and actually measure things out. If I'm making a big, huge project, I may do that. But like for something like this, I just kind of sketch it out, get a basic idea and size for what I want, so that I know exactly how much material I'm going to need to finish the project. Because I don't want to get started and then go, oh, I'm out of craft sticks. Now I have to wait. And you don't want to do that like 3/4 or 2/3 the way across, running across here, or like the pieces I use across the bottom. I use these wooden dowels to support, underneath of there. I know that these are way more than what you need, but they do the job. I know they're not going anywhere. I can put a heavy metal mini on there, which a lot of my War Machine minis are metal. I've got a lot of older, big, huge metal minis that may see some playtime on this terrain. But you can buy those craft sticks. You can buy a box of 1,000 at Michael's or Joann's for little or nothing. But anyway, I'll get more into the materials I'm going to use when I do the video and get started on this project. But that's something else in project planning, is you want to make sure you've got your materials for the project. You want to make sure you've got a basic idea. If you want to do it just on the fly, just design as you go, you can. There's nothing wrong with that. This is just my method. And once I get started with this, I may change stuff as I go. Because something didn't work the way I wanted it to, and or I didn't like the way it looked, I may change it on the fly as I go to see how that works. Anyway, please like the video if you liked it, subscribe, click that little bell icon over there so you'll get notified when I upload the next videos. Thanks for watching, and take care.